You're good. I couldn't hear anything. So if you said anything, I just saw your facial expression, which we definitely have on tape. So that's good.
Awesome. I love that for me. There was like a truck outside passing. I was like, quiet on set, filming me.
We'll just turn it into a meme. We got you.
Oh man, off to a great start.
Totally. Well, congrats on everything that's happening so far in All American.
Thank you.
And you said you were filming till 1 a.m. last night?
Yes, almost 2:30, but our director that we're working with now, David, is incredible. He shoots so fast and we love that for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about your podcast today, but we also, of course, want to talk to you a little bit about All American. So we'll just tackle the All American side of things and then dive into the podcast.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for, everybody wants to know, we interviewed Cody Christian.
Okay.
We asked him the similar question.
Okay.
So as a fan watching the show, a fan, do you think you would be Team Asher or Team Spencer?
Oh, why would you ask me that?
As a fan. He was like the same reaction, so.
Yeah, because how am I supposed to answer? I mean, listen, I'm just gonna go with the fans vote, which I think is been made very clear. So let's just go with the fans want. That's what I want, whatever they want.
Okay, well, way to get the sneaky way out.
Team Asher's great too. Asher deserves all the love in the world.
Yeah. Okay, so there's also a lot of talk about like the word Endgame is going around. Do you also, as a fan watching, what do you think the ultimate Endgame would be for Olivia? Like, what would you want to happen for her?
Oh, what would I? Well, that's a great question. I mean, ultimately, I think Spencer, since the very beginning, their relationship is like undeniable, just from like the pilot episode. Like, you're the first person that even asks me those kinds of questions or see me for who I really am. And I think their chemistry is sort of undeniable. And I think she needs to explore that. They've never really gotten a chance to. So I think that would be her first sort of journey with,
And every week people are like, oh my God, these episodes like so suspenseful and everything. Do you love just like kind of knowing what happens and like hearing people's reactions from week to week?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because we already know what happens. So I'm just always excited to see what people are saying. And the greatest thing, honestly, is just going straight to the comment section because people are blowing up. And it's trending every week on Twitter. I'm like, yo, our fans are so loyal, so dedicated. And yeah, I love it. It's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so jumping over to the podcast, we got you. That is a really, really good idea. Like, genuinely, like if I had that, I think when I was in high school or just in school in general, like how do you feel doing that? Because you're probably impacting a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're definitely, and it's a startup, we're kind of building it from the ground up and doing stuff like this just to get the word out there for anybody who might be looking for something like this is the goal right now. And I'm very passionate about it. To your point, I wish that I had sort of an outlet like this to go to.
Picture yourself, back in school. If you came onto your podcast, what do you think you would ask to get advice about?
I would, being vulnerable. I would talk about depression and anxiety. I still deal with those things to this day. I've obviously have been able to navigate it much better now that I'm just getting older. But if I had sort of started that process and that conversation when I was younger, that would have been really great. And so yeah, it's really cool that kids are reaching out and gaining something from this, and just means we're doing something right.
It's just cool as an actress that you're doing more than just, your actual job. Like you're actually making an impact with what you do. So that's really cool.
Well, I've been super passionate about working with kids and the youth for a really long time. So when this opportunity came to me, I was like, yeah. And it also came to me in the middle of the pandemic. I was sitting at home just waiting around, seeing if we were even going to shoot a season 3. And my agent came to me with this opportunity. Hallie, like I said, who's the creator behind all of this, they met back in high school, I think.
Okay.
So she presented him with this opportunity and she was like, if you know anybody, we're looking for a host. And I was the first person that he thought of. And I was like,
That's
oh,
so that's you should be proud of that. You should be proud of
yeah.
that.
I was like, thanks, man. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, just a little game before we hop over to the IG live. So it
Okay.
is basically combining All American with your podcast. So it's going to be
Okay.
basically advice. So I'm going to list off a character in the show and you're
Okay.
going to like what advice you'd give them and then also them in real life.
Okay. I'll do my best.
So you're going
Jesus.
to kind of
These
just
kids
like
on the
define
podcast do a much better job at giving advice than I do. We should invite them on.
Okay, so advice. What advice would you give Asher in the show? Not Cody Christian, but Asher.
But Asher,
Yeah.
chill out, man. It's all good. And yeah, anything that you're dealing with your dad is, it needs to be much more of a conversation, and I'm here for you in any way that you need me to be. It's okay
Yeah.
to be vulnerable, and it's okay to open up, and it's okay to ask for help when you need it, because you're not alone, and that's a tough situation that you're going through, and you don't have to go to these other things to sort of get through all of that. So yeah, just it's all good. You're gonna be good.
What advice would you give to Michael in real life? Real life. Real life. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what he's into, but if you had to give him advice in real life based on what you personally know about him, what would you say?
I don't think I need to give Michael any advice. Honestly, like he's just happy-go-lucky. He's just happy to be here, He's just along for the ride. And I vibe off of his energy so much because he always brings a smile to my face. So yeah.
And then finally, what advice would you give to Spencer in the show?
That's a great question. What advice would I give Spencer on the show? God, what advice would I give him? I feel like it's so interesting because I'm like, I feel like he's the one always giving me
New advice. You're the one who needs help.
Yeah, it's like the total opposite. My character has, he's really been there for my character all along. I know it's supposed to be for me, but, and even Daniel in real life, he's like such an incredible force. He's so wise and so loving and caring. He really carries the show on his back, and he's doing such an incredible job. So honestly, I need the advice.
We'll ask him to tell you.
Yeah.
Advice.
Yeah.